Brian O'Sullivan is your class speaker. The Provost Selection Committee chose Brian for this honor from a group of outstanding candidates nominated by our academic programs. Brian graduates today with a bachelor's degree in an academic concentration he designed at Fairhaven College of Interdisciplinary Studies. An artist all his life, Brian combined his love of art with his growing interest in psychology to prepare for a career that brings the arts to a therapeutic setting. Creating and reflecting on art, Brian knows, can help people bring to light feelings and experiences they can't find words for. Brian says he hopes to study art therapy in graduate school. At Western, Brian also drew upon his love for the arts in his work at Blaine Elementary School. There he taught art in a fourth grade classroom for a pilot program that Western calls CREATE, which aims to bring the arts to K-12 schools. Brian volunteers with the Bellingham nonprofit Allied Arts. He also helped organize the 2014 annual Children's Art Walk event, in which downtown businesses display artwork from K-12 students throughout Whatcom County. Brian is also an experienced tour guide, leading tours through Western's campus as a student ambassador, and also through the Alaska State Capitol as a summer employee for the Alaska Legislative Affairs Committee. Brian is a proud Alaskan, a graduate of Juneau Douglas High School, and the son of Kevin and Christine O'Sullivan of Juneau. Today, he plans to speak to fellow graduates about the importance of finding meaning in a life and continually following one's passions. Please welcome your class speaker, Mr. Brian O'Sullivan.
Good morning, everyone. I see a lot of familiar faces in this sea of black robes. For those of you who are meeting me for the first time, hello. I'm the kid you've probably seen waving his arms around emphatically as I guide groups of high school students across campus and as I'm cheerleading along the way. I'm thrilled to be speaking to you on this day of celebration as we recognize the incredible achievement that is graduating college. But before I get to the nitty-gritty of my speech, before I blow your socks off or change your life forever, or whatever I'm supposed to do in the next 5 minutes, I want to take a moment to express my gratitude to those who have helped me get here. While graduation is a time for festivities, it is also an incredibly humbling experience. And not just because they're forcing us to wear these ridiculous black robes. Seriously, I don't know why we're supposed to wear these, but I look like a Harry Potter character in the worst way. Today I feel humble because my accomplishment of graduating college is not something I completed simply on my own. It has been shaped by professors who forced me to challenge my view of the world and who helped me with advice and hours spent together in our offices. My scholastic voyage came with its fair share of obstacles, but I was fortunate to have good friends, many of whom are here with me today, who provided me with the much-needed confidence and peace of mind when I needed it. Lastly, I feel blessed to have a family who supported my desire to follow my dreams and will continue to support me even after I graduate. Looking at you, Mom and Dad. Hope you didn't change my room into that office you always wanted. Moving in 2 weeks and make a mean top ramen. We're gonna have a great time together. I want everyone seated in front of me to look at the people who you brought with you today and give them a round of applause. All right, back to all you attractive people. So we've got a pretty eclectic group graduating from this room. I'm up on the podium looking into the faces of one-day CEOs of corporations like Boeing and Microsoft, to the future shepherds of our environment, to tomorrow's pioneers of social justice, and just maybe the next Pablo Picasso of our generation. It only makes sense that I would be chosen to speak on behalf of all of you. Me, the guy who decided to create a major combining courses from the 2 lowest paid degrees graduating Western, psychology and studio art. That's right. Some might say I'm majoring in student loans with an emphasis in living in my parents' basement. In an effort to not sound cheesy, I don't plan on reading a quote from Oh, the Places You'll Go or singing Graduation by Vitamin C. I'll save that tonight when I'm at the bars doing a karaoke version and undoubtedly crying. I do, however, want to talk to you about something that's been on my mind a lot this past year. Lately, I've been getting bombarded by an avalanche of questions about my future, and I'm guessing I'm not alone. These questions range from, are you looking for an internship? What's your 4-year plan? So are you moving back with your parents? Are you going to graduate school? Really, in this economy? And then there's that dreaded question. The question I've been asked 600 times and answered in as many different ways. So, what's your plan? I'm here to tell you that I've come to recognize only recently that the answer to this question is the biggest joke. I've learned many things at Western. I've developed my talents as an artist and as a critical thinker, and I've strengthened my ability to effectively communicate. If there's one thing Western hasn't taught me, however, it's how to predict the future. Were you to ask the Brian of 4 years ago, chubby, shy, and with the haircut of a golden retriever, what his 4-year plan was, where he saw himself in 4 years, you would have been light years away from accurate. I'm not saying that thinking forward is pointless. In fact, I believe our abilities to think ahead and plan and work towards goals have been vital for us getting to this point. Life is full of fluidity and uncertainty, and it can be terrifying to make decisions about the future. More often than not, I believe it's easy for us to become caught up in whatever the next step will be in securing our own success, that we lose sight of the real reason for pursuing higher education, to lead a happy and meaningful life. This past year, I took a class in positive psychology, where I learned that finding meaning in life provides the strongest and longest lasting positive effect on a person's happiness. By having a purpose that is bigger than yourself, by living a life of importance and significance, you can measurably increase your levels of satisfaction and well-being. My career path, along with many of you, will undoubtedly be a struggle, but that doesn't necessarily have to come as a bad thing. Our 4 years at this university have taught us that growth doesn't come from necessarily things being handed to you. It comes from struggling and rising to the occasion. Not having all the answers forces you to claim ownership of whatever challenge you face, and often the result is confidence to continue on. My major may be unconventional, but it's hard-earned. It's mine. I own it. Whatever you have written on your diploma today that you leave with, be it something wild and eccentric as art therapy, or something on the more practical end of the spectrum like accounting, I hope that you use the knowledge gained and the connections made while completing it, and do something with your degree that fulfills you and gives your life meaning. I want to leave you with a quote from Bill Watterson, the creator of my all-time favorite comic, Calvin and Hobbes, who articulates this idea far better than I can in my time given. Also, I think it's perfect because, as many of you guys know, I was Calvin for Halloween. Creating a life that reflects your values and satisfies your soul is a rare achievement. In a culture that relentlessly promotes excess as the good life, a person happy doing his or her own work is usually considered an eccentric. You'll be told 100 ways, some subtle and some not, to keep climbing and never be satisfied with where you are, who you are, and what you're doing. There are a million ways to sell yourself out, and I guarantee you'll hear about them. To invent your own life's meaning is not easy, but it's still allowed. And I think you'll be happier for the trouble. Congratulations, class of 2014. It's been my privilege to spend the past 4 years with such a vibrant, inspiring, and sexy group of people. Believe me when I say it's been the best 4 years of my life, and I can't wait to see what exciting and life-changing experiences lay ahead for each and every one of you. Mahalo.
Thank you, Calvin. Brian, for those stirring and fun remarks as well.